Hey, what's up? It's Rashad hanging with the Joneses. Part 5. Spoiler review. Gotta talk about a thing to talk about a thing. The penultimate episode of the series was very revelatory. The theme of the episode is said by the Grand Inquisitor, who comes back by the end of the episode. And he says, "Revenge does wonders for the will to live." And that is essentially the whole episode in a nutshell. Reva trying to get revenge on Vader. She wants to kill Vader for doing the atrocities of Order 66. Vader wants to kill Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan, feels like Obi-Wan did him wrong. He cut three of his limbs off. So that revenge. The OG Grand Inquisitor wanting revenge on Reva because Reva was so ambitious. These three storylines kind of converge at the end to the point where we have Reva hurt in a very stiff way. They just leave her there to die on her own. And you have Obi-Wan outwitting Vader because there's this really well interspersed flashback of Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting way back on Coruscant. So this is a well-used flashback. I'm glad they used Hayden Christensen without, being all Vadered up, and to show how Obi-Wan defeated Anakin, even though Anakin is clearly stronger, because he says his desire to essentially be the winner is always going to blind him, and it does in this situation here. A couple people died, unfortunately. So RIP to a lot of the random people that were trying to get on the path. And RIP Tyler, man. Tyler went out like a G. So just like I said last week, at the beginnings of the rebellion, we're starting to see how people are trying to fight against the Empire in these small little sects. And I appreciate that. It's really good to see how the Empire is starting to be found out and how the Inquisitors are just going and just killing random people all over the galaxy in the name of, I don't know. There's no real rhyme or reason other than the Emperor doesn't want to have force sensitive people. Leia is essentially being used as the small child trying to get into the small spaces. Kind of like Snowpiercer, but not as child labor law ish stuff. But so she goes into the ship because her little droid, of course, still has the tracker on it, and the droid disables the doors for the hangar for the ship to go out. So that is the ticking time bomb for the episode, is them trying to fix that so they can actually leave before Vader comes, which leads to an amazing scene that I'll get to in a second. So before all this happens, they're trying to buy time. Obi-Wan talks to the third sister because they're trying to blow the door down. And Obi-Wan realizes that, hey, you're a youngling. That's how you knew Vader is Anakin, because you were there. Obi-Wan plays her against herself and says, hey, you trying to kill Anakin. You trying to kill Anakin too. You're not really down for the cause. And of course, we see that is true. And by the end of the episode, Vader and Reva fight. Of course, Vader wins because he's Vader. Another show of Vader's strength is on display. Again, the whole cat and mouse game between Obi-Wan and Vader was on full display this episode. Vader sees the transport go up, using the Force, straight grabs the whole thing down and starts ripping it, just with so much force and aggression. And by the time he's doing that, another transport with actual people on it leave. Obi-Wan knew that Vader was going to get there on time. He just had Obi-Wan was really using the Forces episode and starting to lean into that. There's a small, Kumail Nanjiani's character is back. He ends up being wanted by the Empire. So he comes to that planet. Now he's essentially part of this burgeoning rebellion as well. He's tasked to watch Leia. Obi-Wan gives him all this stuff. Gives also has this little messaging device that has a message from Bail Organa talking about, hey, like, I haven't heard from you. If you don't hit me back, I'm going to end up going to Tatooine. You know what I'm saying? So I can watch over the boy, because he's fearing that they're going to die. And by the end of the episode, Kumail's character drops that. Their sister is still there, so Reva's still there. As she's bleeding on the ground, sees the message, looks at the message. Obi-Wan feels that something's wrong. He doesn't ignore it, he just doesn't verbalize what that is. And then jump to a very, very young Luke at home back on the moisture farm in Tatooine. And then boom, cut up by episode 6. So I'm really curious to see how Reva survives, because she's obviously going to live. Like, how is she going to get off that planet? How she's going to get off the Jabim? Also want to see Obi-Wan and Vader. They're obviously going to fight again, because they only had like really one interaction. And just what Reva's going to do with the information that she received. Is she going to try to, tell Vader? Or is she going to, I don't know, maybe become a part of the Empire? Or maybe she's going to have a very noble sacrifice like Tala. Because Tala definitely went out like a G this episode. But yeah, that's really all I have. We'll be back next week with part 6. Ms. Marvel later on today. Me and Maddie will be reviewing that in the afternoon because, work. But that's all I got. Till the next time.